Welcome to e-learning models for the Webstat. This is module number 7, and in this module we'll discuss how to set up a brand new Webstat out of the box. The first thing you need to know is that every Webstat, brand new from the factory, comes with a default IP address, and you will need to configure your computer to talk with this IP address. In order to do this, you want to change your IP address. This can be done from clicking on your wireless bars here and choosing Open Network and Sharing Center, or going to your Windows icon and choosing Open Network and Sharing Center here. I recommend having your network adapter plugged into your Webstat and your computer already. And if that's the case, you'll see that there is a connection called local area connection, or you can go to change adapter settings, and local area connection is also here. Double click on this, choose properties, choose TCP/IP version 4, and use the following IP address. Now by default, the Webstat comes with an address of 10.0.0.1. So we want to make your computer 10.0.0.2. And by default, the Webstat has an address, subnet mask address of 255.0.0.0 as well. Since we're plugged directly into the Webstat without a router or gateway in the middle, you don't need to put an address there. And there is no DNS in this situation either. So go ahead and click on OK. Click OK here and close here. So click on the search bar, type in CMD for command prompt, and at the command prompt type in PNG 10.0.0.2, which is the address you just gave your computer, and we get 4 replies. Hit the up arrow on your keypad and the backspace and type in 1 and enter. And we are talking to the Webstat with 4 replies. So at this point, you can go ahead and open up a browser and type in 10.0.0.1 and enter. And that will bring you to your welcome screen. At your welcome screen, go and type in the default password, sysadmin, and sysadmin. If you're using Firefox, it will remember the user and the password for you. Okay, now you're logged into your Webstat. Go ahead and the first step you need to do is click on System. Once you're on the General tab, click on Network Setup. At Network Setup, change the host name to the name of the building. In this case, we'll call it Sunnyside. If you're tying into the LDS Church's network, type in ldschurch.org. If you're not part of the LDS Church, talk to your IP group or IT group and get the DNS domain name, the DNS servers, and the IP address and the gateway and subnet that your Webstat will be attached to. For this demonstration, we'll go and make this 172.44.22. Our gateway is going to be 10.172.44.21. Subnet mask is going to be 255.255.192. And our DNS servers are going to be 8.34.35.92. Once again, you want to make sure that you get the proper DNS information from your IP group. And add. With your information now in for your network, go and hit save. It's going to ask you to reboot the Webstat, which takes 5 minutes. So go ahead and be patient and hit yes. While your Webstat's rebooting, go ahead and plug in your thermostats at this time. That would be the orange connector on the very bottom of the Webstat. You want to make sure that you're using LAN wire. It's important to use a 22 gauge twisted pair, one of these part numbers. If you don't use this wire, you can have communication issues that drop in and out and cause real issues. So make sure that you use this kind of wire, and you can usually typically get that through your distributor. Another thing that's important to note is how you terminate your wires. Here's some good considerations for your wiring. Another thing is to make sure to avoid running your cables with a lot of electrical noise in the area, or ballast, or your light ballast. Make sure that if you're going to cross high voltage of 120 volts, make sure to cross perpendicular. And of course, under no circumstances should power be applied to the bus. That can get really messy. This is how your network should look from device to device. It's a daisy chain in and out. At the very beginning, at the Webstat, you should have a termination module. It looks like a resistor pack, and at the very end, you should also have the same termination module. This is the part number. You can get it from your distributor. It's an FTT10. Okay, while you're waiting for your Webstat or your controller to reboot, go ahead and change your IP settings. Right-click on your wireless bar, Open Network and Sharing Center. You can also go to here, type in Open Network and Sharing Center as well. I recommend plugging in your Webstat to your computer through the network cable first. And you can click on Local Area Connection or change adapter settings. And then click Local Area Connection. Choose Properties, IPv4, and then obtain IP address automatically. And click back on there so it's all cleared out. We made the website address 10.172.44.22. So for our computer, we need to make it similar but not the same. So 10.172.44.23 for your computer. We need to have the same subnet mask that we gave the Webstat. So it's 255.255.255.192. Since we're connected directly to the Webstat, there's no gateway in between, so we don't need to add a gateway. And we don't need to worry about a DNS server at this point either, so just hit OK. And OK, and close. Now we want to make sure that the address did stick to our computer. So click on your Windows icon, choose CMD for command prompt, enter, and choose ping, P-I-N-G, 10.172.44.23. And we do have replies. That's good. Now let's see if we can connect to our Webstat, which is 22. And we're getting replies as well. Once you get replies from both your computer and your Webstat, you can open up a browser. And go ahead and type in your IP address, 10.172.44.22. And now you have access to your Webstat. And then log in. Once you've reached the overview page, move over to Thermostats. Now at the very bottom, choose Discover. And choose OK. All right, once it's completed, go ahead and click on OK. And just wait for your screen to refresh, or hit refresh yourself if you need to. But at that point, you'll notice that there are a bunch of thermostats that have downloaded. If the thermostat already has a name that was already typed into it, it will show up here. If it does not, you need to go into Edit and add one. Enter in the proper descriptor for the thermostat, then choose Inputs. You'll want to make sure that T7771 is selected. Next, check your cooling configuration. And in this case, it's only one stage. If you need extended operation time, how many cycle rates per hour, things like that. Same for your heating, check that as well. In this case, it's only one stage. Fan isn't required with heat. Extended 90 seconds, 6 cycles per hour, it's fine. You don't need to worry about outputs, but you do want to set your set points. So we can leave these defaults in, or you can change them here. And it's not a bad idea to also check your wiring configuration after this is all done. This is kind of cool, tells you what's connected. And you can also go and choose View Sensors, or View Wiring, sorry. And that will give you an actual wiring diagram of how your thermostat is set up. After you're done, click on Finish. And then you'll want to go in and edit the rest of your thermostats as well. After you've edited all 4 thermostats, go ahead and choose Download. You notice here it says Last Update, it says Download Pending. Anytime you make a change to a thermostat, you need to download the information after you're done. So choose the Download button. You can choose individually or pick one for all of it and choose OK. Back at the overview screen, you'll notice that your 4 thermostats now show up. They're also giving values too. Currently, though, we don't want them occupied, so it's obvious that we need to set up some schedules. So let's go to the Schedule tab and add schedule. You can add multiple schedules, but for the sake of this demo, we're just going to set up one. We're going to choose Monday through Friday. We're going to delete the days out because we want to put a clean schedule in. I always choose 0000 unoccupied and add to gray out the entire week. We want to occupy the building at 7 a.m. and we want to go unoccupied at 4 in the afternoon and add. We want to give this a name. And then we need to associate some thermostats with it. If you're doing multiple schedules, you can just do one at a time by hitting a single chevron, or you can just choose the double chevron and move them all over. Once they're moved over, go ahead and hit save. All right, now you can go. After you're done with your schedules, the next thing you want to do is set up some users. Once you get to the Users tab, you'll notice that there's a default user in there already. This is the user that we logged in with, sysadmin user. Now, if you're on a network that's exposed to the internet, this is where you'd want to change your password so not just anybody can log into it. But if you're on a VPN, you can just leave this whole user alone and add a new user. And if you are on a VPN, I suggest just leaving the default alone because the only people who can access it are people inside your network. Once you're at the new user screen, go ahead and type in your username. And password. And just your contact number. You don't need to enter that in, but you do need to enter an email address. And at this point, you want to choose what user you're going to assign to yourself or this person. A tenant just gives you the ability to go in and pretty much look at things. Manager, a facility manager will allow you to go in and make some changes. A contractor will allow you to make any changes you need to do. So depending on what user you're setting up, give them the appropriate level. The other thing is for alarms, I always choose medium. I don't want every single alarm being sent to me in an email. Mediums are typically the ones that you need. And if you want email sent to you, you have to check this box here and save. So now you see there's a Steve user there, so you can log out and log in using this one now. But in order for you to get emails, there's still another step that needs to take place here. So click on Systems tab, the email setup. And for the LDS Church, make sure to add the server host name. In this case, the LDS server host name is 10.100.248.59. Any other building, talk to your IT group and get this server host name. You can put just any generic email address in there. It doesn't have to be real. It's just when you get an email sent to you saying there's an alarm in trouble, you want to know which building it came from. So go ahead and type in a generic email like this, and you can just put the name of the building as well. When you get done, you can do a test email and just verify that does get sent to you and send. Go to your inbox, verify that it showed up, and that's how you know your email's been set up correctly. By default, when you log into Webstat, these are not selected, but you do want to set it up so if your Webstat does lose power, when it powers back up, it will get the correct time from the internet, from this time server. And in that way, you don't have to worry about resetting all your web stats every single time there's a power outage. The other nice thing is your schedules will start on time too. And I always use UTCNI st2 colorado.edu as my time server. You also want to make the Webstat the network time master. So click on that as well. Go ahead and hit save. All right, if you happen to change your time zone, the problem with that is it's going to make you reboot your Webstat. But just know that that's going to happen if you change that. Now, even though we've added that in there, we've checked these, we still have to hit sync now. So we hit sync now, and it's going to help give us the proper time up top here and the proper date. And once that's done, go ahead and click on sync now to all the thermostats. So once you have the proper time in the Webstat, you hit sync now here, and it's going to make all the thermostats the same time as your Webstat. And with that part done, you're complete. The only thing left to do at this point is if you want to add a picture to your Webstat. Click on the login page, browse, and choose the picture of your building and hit save. And you're good to go.